Hi guys, how are you?
Hi, Rachel.
Good.
Good.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So to start, no spoilers. To start, I just want to ask about the genre because I'm obsessed with true crime and murder mysteries, and like I love the kind of resurgence of it. I think it's so fun to kind of get to explore that genre and that world in all these different ways. And so, what about this show in particular and like the comedic aspect of it drew you guys in and made you want to be a part of based on a true story?
You want to go?
Sure. I would say what grabbed my attention about the script was how witty it was, how funny it was, how self-aware it was of how absolutely ridiculous it is that we're all obsessed with true crime. I can speak for both of us when I say we're both definitely true crime junkies, 1000%. So I was definitely able to relate to that. I listened to Crime Junkie and I listened to Sword and Scale and My Favorite Murder and Serial. Like I listen to that when I wake up in the morning. So this show kind of made me step back and be like, why do I do that? That's a little weird. But that's what our show is so good at, is kind of poking fun at our obsession with true crime.
Yeah, it's true. You kind of you watch the show and you're like, these people are crazy, and then you like pop in your headphones and you're like listening to true crime.
Well, at the gym or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's yeah, it's very meta. It's very definitely makes you reflect on yourself and but it's really smart too. I feel like we are in a time where we're just oversaturated with content and it's really hard to stick out. And I think the show does a really good job at taking risks and finding interesting ways to tackle a really popular topic. And the show does a really good job at doing that, I think.
And it does it in a way that definitely has not been done yet.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
very, very, very unique to itself.
Yeah. Okay. And now this is post release because I want to talk about some spoilers. I'm a big American Psycho fan, and I love how much Matt reminds me of Patrick Bateman.
Oh my God,
Uh,
totally.
but Priscilla, you get to be in my favorite scene, which is the most like, I don't know if you've seen American Psycho the musical, but when there's like a dance scene and they're murdering each other in a club, or Patrick's murdering people in a club. So when Matt was murdering people in the club, I was like, it's like the musical. And I loved it so much. But getting to be kind of obviously you Ruby is more in the midst of kind of the murder stuff and with Matt and with everyone. For you, what was kind of the fun of like getting to kind of be weirdly towards the end the antagonist of a show that has a serial killer in it?
Yeah,
Because
that's so
That
true.
is such a good
I
point.
love
I
that.
love that as well. I did not even think of it that way, but you are so right.
Yeah.
Love American Psycho, first of all. Second of all, that club scene was so much fun to film. It was wild though. I think that took us like all of 10 hours just to get that one piece because there were so many moving parts. There's so much choreography. And we just had a blast filming that. And to be the antagonist when there's a serial killer in
You
the
like root for
show,
the serial killer and not for
I
you. You're like, no,
know.
Ruby.
I guess that means I did an okay job then.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's the point.
Oh my goodness, that is so funny. But it was such a blessing to play her. I had such an amazing time on set.
it is funny because it's like you're like she's gonna ruin this podcast, and I'm like, this is the podcast where they're interviewing serial killers. I
And
need
they
to kind
need
of
new,
stop.
fresh content.
Yeah,
So
you're like, please stop Ruby. Don't let
yeah.
her. So
We need the
funny.
content.
But Liana, I love Tori's kind of like the moral compass. Like whenever we're having fun and we're like, oh, but they should do this, this, and this in their marketing. It's like her at that dinner scene towards the end where she's like, it's morally wrong either way. Like either way, they should be ashamed. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. We should all check back in and be like, this is
Yeah.
bad though. But getting to be that, you also do towards the end of the season have that moment with Matt, and she's now kind of roped into it. What is for you the part about Tori that is the most interesting aspect of her character, since we saw part of her, but we didn't get to spend the most time with her throughout this season?
Yeah, I think that what I found um, challenging in playing Tori is being that moral compass and that sort of she's incredibly grounded and she's the voice of reason that unintentionally kind of pops in and disrupts everything. And it was interesting as an actor to see kind of all the chaos happening around me and being like, am I in the same show? I need to make sure I fit in comedically, but also play my part.
You did that perfectly.
Oh, thanks,
You
girl.
did, yeah,
Appreciate
for
that.
sure. You killed that.
But it was fun, and I think it's necessary because she definitely is. She's an outsider in her own way because she's kind of calling all of us out, including myself.
Because she's normal.
Yeah, because she's normal, but she's not considered normal anymore. Like,
I know.
people are so fascinated by this stuff. Like, I even found myself being like, "Oh, damn, Tori calling me out."
Yeah,
Like, okay.
same.
And for one quick last question, I love kind of like this show is a comedy at its core. And so when like Jess and June are singing I Will Remember You about a woman who literally just died, I like could not keep it together. But like for you both, what is your favorite moment of this whole season and like the funniest thing that you think about?
Well, that's hard because we have personal experience.
Yes.
And then I have to say, my favorite thing to read was that club scene. I was like, this is incredible.
Honestly, probably same.
I love
that, and the dog scene was wild.
Yeah, that whole episode is so out there and weird. And I remember reading it being like,
that the
how
same
is this
episode?
going to translate? What?
Is that the same episode?
The club and the dog?
Yeah.
No, girl.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
That would have been a long week. That would have been a long week. But I remember reading the dog episode and I was like, people are either going to turn this off
I know.
like right now, or they're going to be like, wow, the show is
They're going to be so in
really
shock
out
that
there.
they couldn't even move.
Yeah. But we had a lot of fun filming that scene.
Yeah.
yeah, McEnroe, I have a cat and I was like, that would be a dead man. Like I was like, that man, I would have like fought him tooth and
I
nail.
know.
Right
that
then and
was
there.
that was so sad. That was actually really hard to read because I
Poor
love
Chris
dogs
Messina.
and why Chris?
Well,
yeah.
He
It's
lost his dog. He broke my heart. He made me cry.
he was so good in that scene. He was phenomenal.
He's good in every scene.
That is so true. Chris Messina, one of the greatest Chris's. Thank you guys so much for talking with me. I'm obsessed with this show and I like can't wait for it to come out so people can talk to me about it. So thank you both so much.
so much.
Thank you for watching
to
it.
meet you.
Nice
Of
to meet you.
course. Nice meeting you.
Bye.
Bye.